Thanks, everyone. Yeah, my name is Patch. I use the pronouns they, them, theirs, and I'd like to acknowledge that the land upon which we rally is Whadjuk Noongar country and pay my respects to past and present elders. In 2014, I came out as transgender, and I faced I was in year 10, and it was a very difficult time because things were happening with, say, I wasn't allowed to use the change rooms of my choice, which led to a lot of complications. I didn't have the most, I had a lot of supportive people around, but some further education could have been really helpful in sort of being supported in a way where I felt completely comfortable to be able to learn at school. In that same year, 2014, I went to the first National Safe Schools Symposium in Melbourne, and it was absolutely incredible to see so many people wanting change in our schools, so eager to see change in our schools. I went to that same symposium again in 2015, this time as a non-binary student, non-binary meaning identifying outside of what it means to be a boy or a girl. And Safe Schools Coalition in 2015 had changed their catchphrase from change is coming to Safe Schools Do Better. And the focus was on recent Australian research which had found that schools are where, as Oscar said, the most homophobic and transphobic bullying occurs in the lives of our young people in Australia. This research had also found that creating safer schools was proven to be the right thing to do for our queer, perceived to be queer and questioning youth. I have read the official findings of the Safe Schools Coalition review, and I found that it is appropriate for use in schools, the program, but the reviews do encourage flexibility to schools, encourages flexibility so schools can be better members of the program. The review does not suggest that the Turnbull government should strip the program of its well-researched goodness and restrict its effectiveness in school communities. And I cannot stress how imperative it is for everyone to learn about sex, sexuality and gender diversity in supportive, understanding, respectful spaces, and not in a culture which portrays us to be deviant, unworthy and asking for trouble in our lives. Shame! With the government changes to the Safe Schools program, trans and gender non-conforming students in primary school will not have as many educated peers around them and face the imminent risk of higher incidence of bullying. Queerphobic parents who do not give permission for their children to take part in the programs will teach their children either that it's not okay to be queer or that queer, trans and intersex people do not deserve to be understood. And queerphobic bullying is part of a systematic oppression where cisgender, heterosexual and non-intersex privilege allows people to harass and beat us up because that's what they're taught we deserve. And thank you, Oscar. And that is different to people who beat others up for the horrible heck of it. And this is why queerphobic bullying needs to be addressed openly and forthrightly, not solely as part of an umbrella anti-bullying program, because queerphobic bullying is different to bullying that you find amongst people who just want to feel powerful over others. It's this inherent sort of, it's this power privilege sort of structure that's allowed people to say, oh, you're queer, that means I have the right to bully you, that means there's nothing wrong with me bullying you, and that carries on. I'd like to finish by saying that the changes the Turnbull government want to make to the Safe Schools Coalition is not about legislation, which can be stopped in the Senate. It is purely down to collective persuasion, people power and the state governments to ensure schools can do better and that LGBTIQQA+ people are supported in aiming for their goals and enjoying school. I'd just like to give a shout out to the Safe Schools Coalition who have done some amazing work so far in WA. They started in about August, July last year, I think, and yeah, I've just learnt so much from the Safe Schools Symposium and being involved, and I'd like to thank you all for coming out here tonight. It's amazing and I really appreciate it. So many of us appreciate it. Yeah, thank you so much.